10 thought-provoking questions about what makes a male a man. Number 1, is manhood defined by biology, or is it shaped by behaviour and character? Okay, decent question. I mean, if you're born with a penis, then obviously you're a male, but it doesn't make you a man. I think in order to become a man, you just have to master certain attributes, you know? In order to be a man, you have to be a leader of a pack. You have to have discipline. You have to be strong, not only physically, but mentally as well, because life is not easy, and you can tell when someone is being led by someone weak and everything just falls apart. And I do believe that your behavior and character does shape you to be a man. I don't think every male is a man. I don't think every boy is a man. I do believe that being a man is something that you'll learn and taught growing up. That's why I do believe it's very important to have a father figure in your life. Number 2, how important is emotional intelligence in defining what it means to be a man? How important is emotional intelligence? Very important. You can just tell the huge difference between a man or a boy or a male who has emotional intelligence and who's not emotionally intelligent. For example, okay, road rage. A driver cuts another driver off. A man with no emotional intelligence will just get angry, frustrated, wave the person off, just complain, just be completely angry. I mean, that's dumb. That's dumb. For whatever reason that person cut you off, it could be 100 of reasons. And 100 reasons of it not being your fault. That person was just lacking awareness. But emotionally intelligent person would understand that and they'll brush it off. You know, if you accidentally barge someone who's emotionally intelligent and the person just says, oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, you just get along with your day. But someone who has no emotional intelligence, they'll be like, hey, just blah, 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 just arguing, swearing, cussing, whatever. I mean, and that makes a big difference into what it means to be a man. Because I think if you don't have emotional intelligence, you can't be a man. You're pretty much just a grown baby. So yeah, I think it's very important to have emotional intelligence, and that definitely defines you if you're a man or not. 100%. Can vulnerability be a strength in manhood, or is it seen as a weakness? Yeah, definitely. I do believe it can be a strength, because when you're going through something or when you're growing through something and you're vulnerable, for example, to your wife, there's the feminine energy that can give you some sort of idea or inspiration to help you overcome that next challenge in life. And that could only be done by you being vulnerable. So, yeah, vulnerability is definitely a strength, 100%. Number 4, does society's definition of a real man align with your personal view? I have no idea what society's definition of a man is. Maybe you can help me. I have no idea. I tend to not follow what society is doing. I mean, I don't engage with society that much because I'm busy with my own life, you know? And I've never really been a sheep. So that question's a blank to me. This is number 5, Is providing and protecting still a core part of manhood in today's world? It will always be, and it always should be. A man should be a provider and a protector. Otherwise, then that takes away your man nature. I mean, if you don't do that, what else are you? I mean, yeah, what else are you? I mean, what's your purpose, you know? Of course, males are providers and protectors. So, yeah, that should be core. It should always be core in manhood. And if it's not, and it doesn't come a part of manhood or is taken away from manhood, then you're definitely gonna get a lot of weak men. You're definitely gonna get a lot of bitch made men, you know, them emotional crybaby men who don't know how to deal with their emotions and throw their toys out their pram every time something happens. So yeah, providing and protecting is still definitely a core in manhood world, most definitely. Number 6. How do responsibilities and relationships shape a man's identity? How do responsibilities and relationships shape a man's identity? I think it's one of the key factors of how a man's identity is shaped based on their relationships. Because if a man hasn't got any responsibilities, then how is that person gonna act and behave in certain situations? You know, for example, if a man who lives with their parents goes out and gets a girl pregnant, he's stuck, he's confused. I mean, you have no responsibilities in life, so what makes you think you're going to be responsible to look after a woman and a child? And maybe that's why you see a lot of single mothers these days, because these men who don't want to look after their child, just because they haven't had any responsibilities growing up in life. So that's shaped their weak-minded, and that's why they're not able to stay in a relationship or look after their kids. So responsibilities definitely shapes a man's identity. And I do believe when you have a son, try give him like small responsibilities while you nurture them. Okay. Number 7. Can a man embrace traditionally feminine qualities and still be considered manly? Yeah, I believe so. I mean, as long as you're not flaunting them out to the world, yeah, why not? I mean, there's certain feminine traits that I would display amongst my family. It doesn't mean I'm any less manly. They know my position. So if they already know your position and you have a critical thinking brain which allows you to explore and be open-minded into different things, why not? I mean, someone who's scared of embracing certain other qualities because they're scared to what other people may think of them kind of suggests that you're already weak. Because a man shouldn't care what other people think about him. I mean, if you do, then you maybe need to figure out why that is. You know, there's obviously you lack a certain conviction within yourself, for sure. So personally, I do believe you can still be considered manly by embracing certain traditional feminine qualities. Just don't go advertising it to the world, you know. Don't go becoming that feminine quality, then obviously then that's where there's a problem. In my eyes, you know. You could think something completely different. Let me know actually. Uh, actually let me know. That's a very interesting question. Let me know. Number 8. How do culture and how do culture and upbringing influence the way a male grows into manhood? How does culture and upbringing influence? Oh my days, culture and upbringing has a lot of influence. I mean, my father influenced me growing up, and my father was a hard worker. He was a provider. We went around the world when I was a kid. I had everything I wanted when I was a kid. And my father also taught me how to work because he had his own business. When I didn't have football practice or I didn't have any extracurricular activities, I would go to work with him. So he had a freight forwarding a business and a removal. So it wasn't the most glamorous, but when he had a job, I would go on a removal. I will do some lifting. I will fill out paperwork. And that taught me responsibilities. And I also got paid. But obviously, if I'm already getting everything, I used to save. And every time I wanted something, that if I wanted a pair of football boots, or if I wanted the latest game, or just clothes, or whatever, if I wanted to go out with my friends, I had money to go to. I never had to ask. So that taught me how to get my own, to how to fend for myself. So that influence definitely helps me a lot. That's why I was able to stand on my own 2 feet. That's why I moved out of my parents from a very young age. That's why I've never actually asked my parents for anything, or I don't need to, because of how I was raised growing up. I was raised to have independency. I was raised to go out and work and not be a beggar. That's how I was raised. So, and that shaped me, and that definitely influenced me on how to be a more strong man, physically, mentally, spiritually. So most definitely, 100%, culture and upbringing has a huge influence. I mean, there's people that I know who their parents just kept listening to like these certain music that I would never play in front of my kids. I would be very worried if my kids listen to this type of music because it really changes them. Like I know a lot of people who play like sexual orientated music and they're very promiscuous sort of people, you know? And when I was growing up, I listened to a lot of reggae. Bob Marley, Beres Hammond, Garnick Silk, very spiritual, nice vibrational, relaxing music. Nothing like all this, nah. So, and that definitely shaped because I've always been very calm under pressure, very, very calm under pressure. I don't get stressed because I listen to all this relaxation music, you know, more of like what's that Bruce Lee quote? When you put the water in the cup, it becomes the cup, you know, like be water. And I think reggae music definitely helped me to become that person. Now, number 9. Is the ability to handle pressure and challenges a key measure of being a man? Is the ability to handle pressure and challenges a key measure of being a man? Yeah, most definitely. Just like we said earlier, when you're a man, you're the provider, you're the leader. So imagine you're looking after your children. You got your children, you have your wife. This school tuition fee is coming up, but you haven't got the money. You're not gonna show your stressness. You're not gonna be upset in front of your kids. You're gonna have to handle that pressure and to think strategically and logically of how you're actually gonna get out of it. You can't be emotional. You have to think about the solution. So yeah, handling pressure and challenges is definitely key of being a man. 100%. I don't think if you're one of them emotional people who can't handle pressure and you just crumble, yeah, nah, you're not a man. You're just a boy. Like you're a boy because these are boys' attributes, you know. That's the whole idea of growing up. So you develop into a man, and it's just like schoolwork, your homeworks, your projects. That's what it teaches you. It teaches you how to handle and overcome challenges. So yeah, definitely a key measure of being a man. Number 10, what role does self-confidence and personal growth play in becoming a man? It plays a very key role in becoming a man because you can tell when someone is not confident. And when you're not confident, you don't believe in that person. You don't trust that person. Imagine you had a leader who was telling you a plan to win a game or to win a tournament or whatever you're doing, and the person just doesn't seem confident. They're hesitant. They're shaky. They're not convicting in what they're saying. You're not going to really follow that person. You're going to look for someone else to lead you, or you're going to just separate yourself from that person. So self-confidence plays a very key role, because if the family that you're leading is not confident in you, who do they turn to? And when you see them turn away from you, it makes you feel less of a man, because you're the leader of your tribe, but your tribe doesn't follow you. They don't trust your decision. And if we are creatures who need connection, and the one thing that doesn't want to connect to you, you just feel broken, you feel lost. So self-confidence does play a key role, and personal growth, you need to, because you need to learn that there's so many levels, and in order to reach the next level, you need to have learned. Okay, so you're on level 4. You got to level 4 because you've learned of what you needed to learn on level 3, and you managed to go up. And then when you learn what you need to learn on level 4, you go to level 5. So that's important. But is it important in becoming a man? Yeah, most definitely. Because when I was a child, there's certain thoughts that I wouldn't even dare to even think of now, because I've had that personal growth, you know? And yep, there are 10 thought-provoking questions about what makes a male a man. Thank you for sending this to me, Ellen. I really appreciate it, and I hope it gave you a bit more of an insight. And yeah, I would love some of your thoughts and your answers. No, I would love to. Um, yeah, that's a part of life, and I would see if I can learn something else. Maybe I could be wrong on all of them, or if I'm wrong on some of them, or it will be very interesting. So thank you very much for watching. I'll post the questions below, and thank you very much, and I wish you guys all the best. Peace and love.